Do. Yeah, let's try that, I reckon. No, it's not made for kids. Yeah. Yeah, go live. There we go. Flip-a-doo. Flip that around. Can't see anything. Let's flip that around again. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So, today, we're going to be playing with some 300 blackout cases here. And we're going to be playing with some 110 grain VMax projectiles here. And we've got the Remington primers here and the H110 H110 over here. We're going to put them all together and have some fun here on the Twitch. If you're on YouTube, you can't see a whole lot, but we can chat, and if you just want to hop on over to Twitch, then that's even more better. Let's see if this thing's working on the YouTubes. Am I showing up? View your channel. Hey, it's live. It's live. Cool beaners. Alrighty. Say hey if you're stopping in. Make sure to like it so other people are like, wow, that guy's live at midnight. What's he doing? First, Mr. Corey, what is up? How we doing? Ooh, wait, did that show up on, oh, sweet. It shows both chats. Huh. That's awesome, look at that. Sorry, I'm just nerding out. I'm streaming from the desktop on Twitch, so if you want to see the actual stuff happening, you'll have to get over on Twitch TV/DummyRound. But it shows the chat there, and it only had the Twitch chat, but then you said something on the YouTubes, and it showed up. So that's cool. Sorry. Anyways, we are going to be making some stuff, some things. Got done watching your football game? Heck yeah, what game? Who was that? How's the audio? I got this new $30 awesome webcam from the McWalmarts. So hopefully it looks a little better. I don't know what it sounds like because the microphone is built into it. But anyways, I think I've got my powder pretty much dialed in here. But we're going to, of course, check that. Then I still have to get my seating depth and get the crimp set up. Let it settle. It might jump up a tenth because that scale is weird and does that. Let's try for an average here. The Oregon Ducks versus Michigan State. And which team are you on there? Because I have family in Oregon and family in Michigan. Anybody doing any shooting this weekend? What kind of fun plans you doing there? You just reloading? You stockpiling supplies for the stuff happening, you know? Never hurts to have some extra bottles of water hanging out, you know what I'm saying? From Oregon. 99 grains. Wow. So that means it was within the tolerances of what I'm trying to achieve here. Cool. So if you guys remember not last week, a few weeks ago, Mr. James, how are we doing? Good to see you. anyways, yeah, we were loading some 300 blackout, and we got kicked off the tubes, man. Oh, yep. Yeah, so we're just getting our old seat and depth set here, and I meant to use one with a candle lure to make sure that I actually cover that. Yeah. We are still very long here. How's that one? Getting closer, but still a ways out here. So yeah, we got some of these, a whole boatload of these VMax from the American Reloading premium package. Yeah, we'll call that one good for now. I'll do another one that actually has the crimp on it. Mr. Crash, how are you this evening, sir? Yeah, we'll try that. Anyways, yeah, I've got a whole bunch of mixed stuff from American Reloading, and these are different varieties of 110 grain VMax. Some of them have some pretty gross crimp marks from the factory, but we've got some different candelure varieties. Different tip colors too. I think those are from the PSA ammo, and obviously those are different versions of Hornady VMax ammo stuff. So yeah, we're trying to get one with the cannelure to get that seated. Why did the last chat? Yeah, they didn't like us, James. They don't like freedom, and they said I was providing instruction on how to manufacture ammunition, which we all know we didn't do all the steps. You couldn't have possibly, figured it out based on what we were doing. But unfortunately, I got to stick YouTube right here. And if you want to go to Twitch here, you can see the rest of what's going on over here. So make sure to follow over on the Twitches, where I can actually go live on the range and stupid crap like that, so I can actually show what we're doing as well. So right now YouTube's basically just a chat, and then I can rip the video off of Twitch and chop it up into other videos or shorts or whatever. Okay, we're getting there, dialing her in. A 2050. That's pretty close. One more. And we got to get our crimp set, which I don't really need much of a crimp at all. I just have an expander here because these are flat base bullets. So that kind of helps get those seated in there. And then I just crimp that back up. Make sure everything's all nice and tight like. And I had to switch tool heads to get the powder measure back on there, so working on getting that dialed in. Okay. How's that looking? How's that? Need a wee bit more. No, probably not that much. We'll back her out just a hair. And then I'll use the case to hold the die while I tighten the lock ring. And now we're good. Boom, there's one piece. And ammo checker. Woo! Bingo. Score. Very nice. So yeah, what's everybody doing this weekend? Had some footballs going on. Anybody doing some loading or shooting or any hootie what's now? Looks like my scale's walking too. Oh well. It's about 90 years old. You got to re-zero it every 30 seconds. So here's that first one that I need to get a final seating depth on. Okay. And then over to the crimp. Got some powder or something stuck under the plate there. And boom. Heck yeah. How's the audio? Can you guys hear me all right? Does everything sound okay? Yeah, like I said, I got a new different camera. It's not exactly a good camera or anything, but yeah. Wondering how that's looking, sounding, etc. But we should be ready to rock and roll here. We got mixed head stamps, mostly Lake City, I want to say. Oh yeah. And I'm still not getting this to run as smoothly as I would like. Primer arm seems to not be perfectly centered there with that hole, but we shall continue. Spent the last few days developing a 6.5 Grendel cast load. Ooh, dude, that sounds awesome. That sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, that one seemed to prime nice and fine like. I've been thinking about Grendel. What barrel length do you recommend? I hear it doesn't really matter because you're only looking at 24 or 2,500 feet per second. So like 16 or 18 don't really matter a whole lot. Not sure how true that is, but makes sense to me. Obviously more is better, but how much are you really squeezing out of it? You know what I'm saying? And then what, you had to modify one of your molds there, James? There we go, very nice, very nice. Ladder loading some 5.56, full length resize, one set with expander, one without for funsies, using some tack. Okay, some tack. I've got some tack on hand I need to start working with. Alright, there was the first fully progressive round. See how that one works in the old chamber. Oh yeah. There we go, there we go. You have an 18-inch barrel. That's what I was thinking about going for. But I don't know. I don't have any other ARs with an 18-inch barrel. So that would round out that weird, you know, hole that I have in the collection. I had an undersized mold. Well, this one's got a black tip on it. Yeah, some of these have some little pull marks on them from the old, whoop. Can't really see the camera. Oh, there you go. Little bitty pull marks there if you're looking at it on Twitch. But they seem to be working just fine. Let's see this one plunking. Oh. Yeah, there we go. I blame the brass, but it worked just fine. Hey. Okay. I need to, I have some 5.56 stuff loaded up, some 75 grainers. I did a bunch of like 10 shot, couple 1/10 of a grain increments, ladder charge sort of thing, just to check for a velocity sort of node. Kind of run all that over the chronograph on a nice day. Oh, nice and primed there, yes sir. So your undersized mold, James, you had to like bore out the diameter, or you like chopped the distance down to make it shorter? What'd you do there? Right. Make sure he's on there nice and straight. Oh, yeah. I do like this Hornady seating die because it's got that like extension chamber that your bullet kind of slides up into. So that's pretty cool, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it helps align your bullet, gets it nice and straight before it runs up into the die and actually hits the seating stem and all that fun stuff. So pretty cool, in my opinion. Let's meet up. Where are you at, sir? Mr. Ryan Doe. Let's meet up. What are you shooting this weekend, Ryan? Oh yeah. Yeah, these flat base bullets here would be struggling without the expander, so highly recommended there. Yes sir, yes sir. Interesting. Who are you, sir? What's that button do? No. Oh, there we go. How do we do that? Yeah. Use the reamer to make the bullet cavity a few thousandths bigger. Worked great. That's cool. I wish I had some kind of machining acumen, but I am not quite the handiest of them all. I can make ammo and put funds together and do other stuff, but I'm fortunately not too handy when it comes to machining and stuff like that. I would love to learn though, that would be cool. You like 308 but store-bought? Well, sir, if that tickles your pickle, then you know, there you go. Lots of people enjoy store-bought ammunition. I'm mostly a cheap ass, so I reload for the savings. I don't really save any money, but I shoot a lot more. And then if you really want to get into it, you start casting and doing all kinds of other fun stuff. And then once you get further into casting, you look at zinc. And that's apparently a whole different monster. Oh, that case was a little short, so it didn't get expanded quite as well. Uh-oh. We'll just nudge that down a hair and then help ease him in there. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, that one looks just fine. Here we go. Yeah. No problem at all. James, what kind of alloy are you using in your Grendel, and how fast were those moving? From what I understand, the oversized bolt face on the Grendel is capable of less pressure than your 556 or whatever, so you got to keep it near 50,000 psi on the top end, which you know, would be better if you're using cast bullets. It's normally running on less pressure, so maybe it wouldn't be quite so difficult to find a nice running load then with the cast alloys there. If you guys are just stopping in, say hey, hit the little like button there, and then stop over here on Twitch and you can see what we're actually doing over here. And make sure to follow on the Twitch. I have 11 followers, so we're really doing good stuff here. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. We'll wait water quenched 2022 feet per second. Sweet. Did you say what grain bullet that was? I didn't, I missed it. I don't think I can go back in the chat. But yeah, what grain weight was that? That sounds like a mighty fine load right there. If you can do 2,000 with your cast loads, that's pretty reasonable. As long as you're aiming properly and, you know, accuracy is your consideration, then you should be good to go, right? Should be good to go, right? So I had to switch to the rifle-sized charge bar on the, well, so I have two powder measures for the Dillon, one set up for pistol and one set up for rifle. I had to use the rifle size because I'm using such a large quantity of H110 that it requires the larger charge bar. I think the small one only goes up to like 16 grains or so, depending on your powder. So I had to grab the other one because I'm almost at 20 grains. Pardon me. Yeah, anyways, I'll put this replay up onto the old YouTubes since they can't, well, they'll do whatever the hell they want on YouTube because they're silly. But don't worry, this is not complete instructions on how to do things that they don't comprehend. Know what I'm saying? Best groups were 1 1/8 inch at 100. That's pretty dang good. I mean, a lot of people, or you know, I guess the standard is, oh man, I shoot MOA all day. You know, MOA all day, brother. It's my gun shoots MOA all day. Well, you know, most of that is like on the shooter, so yeah. Good job with cast loads in an AR at 100 yards. That's respectable, sir. Well done, well done. Sometimes I'll have a pretty decent looking load at about 50 yards and then I back up and it's like, whoa dude, that's not even close. But, you know, all the variables, including me, I'm the biggest variable. My gun and ammo might shoot MOA all day, but the shooter definitely does not shoot MOA all day. I mostly get excited when I hear the steel go ping, and my little monkey brain's like, oh heck yeah. So that's basically what I enjoy doing in my backyard. Which I'm decorating with more steel, so I've got a bunch of more plates. I just need to build a few, couple more little sawhorse things, Get some more mounting hardware, that kind of stuff, you know. Mr. Bobby, how are you doing today, sir? And if you're just here on the YouTubes going, what the hell is going on? Go check out Twitch and you'll be able to see all the fun stuff and, you know, like 720p HD, brother. And you'll be able to see both chats on Twitch. So it makes a little more sense if I'm talking to someone over there, you know what I'm saying? But if you came from YouTube over to Twitch, thank you very much. Make sure to smash that follow button and do all those fun things, I reckon. Or not. Oh God. Oh jeez. Sorry, I wasn't. Good thing it's got that alarm, because I was not keeping an eyeball on the situation. Oh yeah, there we go. And as you can tell, we've got the Remington number 7.5 bench rest primers there. And we are running the H110 H110, a fine spherical ball powder. You can see it's barely leaking out of the old powder measure up top. But it seems all fine ball powders do that. I was gonna run Enforcer, but it's an extremely, like, probably the smallest ball powder I've ever seen is Ramshot Enforcer or H380. If you've seen either of those, tiny little balls. You did? All right, Bobby. Heck yeah. You got a 550B? Good deal. I think this is the C model, 550C. It's a little more recent. Oops, got to put the old buzzer back in there. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah, just playing with the old 300 Blackout. I actually built a new toy. You probably can't see it, but there's a new toy over here on the side. He's only 7.5 inches long, but it's still a formidable tool. You know, it's about how you use it, not about how long it is. And in fact, the older I get, you know, I like them shorter and shorter, it seems. Here we go. On your 550B, sir, when you've changed between different primer cups and arms, it seems like I've at some point misadjusted this little traveling arm that comes back in with the priming cup, and it's not centered here on station 1. So I'm having to, if you couldn't tell, I gotta kind of like straighten the case as I'm pressing forward to prime. So I don't know if you've experienced that. Any tips would be appreciated. Are we doing subs or supers? These, sir, are supersonic 110 grain VMax. I should probably, oop. Well, let's do a quick powder check. Quick powder check. I did do sort of a little workup with the with my little bolt action with this powder, but kind of a somewhat decent load. And if we're anywhere within like 2/10 either way, I should be happy with that. Yeah, that's acceptable. We can run with that. Except I need my powder back. But I need a funnel to get it back in there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're running the 110 VMaxes here, pulled down from American Reloading in their premium projectile package, whatever the hell they call it. whatever they call it. And actually, I feel like, you know, I got lucky because I've been playing with the blackout a lot, and I was already doing a whole bunch of playing around with the old 110 VMax. So getting the majority of them as these, you know, I'm not upset. But if I only loaded like 308 or 300 Win Mag or something, and I ended up with a whole bunch of 110 grain projectiles, I'd be pretty pissed. Be pretty pissed. Mr. Sauce. Sauce. Yes, 300 Blackout Supers, 110 grain. Yes, sir. You can head on over to Twitch there and watch me fumble around with the stuff. You load 223, heck yeah. You going shooting this weekend? I'm probably going to do a couple of Dude Bro mag dumps tomorrow, but I've got a lot of yard work to take care of. And funny enough, my county does a burn ban between October 15th and May when everything is, you know, dead or whatever. But through the summer when everything's dry and dead, that's when you're allowed to burn stuff. Whatever. So I have to get a permit if I start burning crap next week instead of this week. So got to clear out the yard and do some crap in the lawn and move some dirt around and all kinds of fun stuff. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Spot check. Case gauge. Oh yeah, look at them plunking. Boop, 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 boop. Very nice, very nice. Got a 10.5 inch 300 Blackout. 7.5 inch St. Victor 556. Plan to do a barrel swap on the Victor to a 7.5 inch Blackout. Can't find the barrel nut for the Springfield St. Victor. I have absolutely no idea. The barrel nut. Yeah. I don't know if you need a specific one or not. I think it's just an AR-15 thingy thing. Hurricane drop limbs all over your range. What a mess. Yeah, I've got to clean up all of that from all the wind and stuff, but we didn't really get anything. You're in Georgia now, James. How was it near you? Did that get crazy at all? Hope you're doing good. Hope anybody's doing good if you're stuck out any of that crap. So you got the barrel extension, that's already on the barrel, and then the barrel nut goes, I think you just have to have one that matches your handguard, right? I might be probably clueless, but I don't know. Bob says he wants to get a 750. I do too. Sir, I tell you what, I would set it up for like 9mm or 223 and just pull the handle. Sounds like fun to me. It's almost what I'm doing here, but I have to feed the brass and the bullet. That one felt nice and taut. Wow. But I'm using Remington timers, which are historically a little thinner, or skinnier, slightly smaller diameter, by like a 10,000th of an inch or something. So they're known to slide in more easily like that one did, which I know isn't blown out, but you know. But yeah, I just did I had a 10.5 inch Blackout. Now I have a 7.5 inch, and boy howdy, it's fun. Got a 7.5 inch 5.56. That sucker is just loud as heck. But it's fun too, it's fun too. But I am just a 300 Blackout fanboy as of recently. I mean, actually for like, since I started reloading, it was one of my first cartridges because I was like, I have a lot of 5.56 brass that I can chop down and turn into it. And then I can cast bullets and run my AR. So ever since then, I have been quite fond of the old Blackout. And I don't even have a can. Ooh. Don't even have a can. You got the 61 Elvis mold. That's pretty sweet. What kind of alloy do you need to run with that? And does that cycle your AR? Because that would be cool too. Because that would be even less lead and still probably near the same amount of powder. But yeah, a third or about half of the amount of lead if you're doing 223. Has anybody tried like a 70 or 80 grain, kind of a heavier 223 that would be easier to build pressure, but kind of keep the keep your velocity down, but still build up enough gas and stuff to cycle, compared to like the 55 grain Lee that I have? I've never been able to get a nice load using those. I've gotten one that cycles the AR, but unless you're just doing like binary dude bro mag dumps, then it's pretty much useless. So, you know, haven't had any luck with the Lee 55 grainer. Do we order from Everglades? I have not, I don't think. Do they have like components and such? Because I'm always looking for, you know, more brass or cheap projectiles or pretty much any of it I can find a use for. You powder coat? That's pretty sweet. I mean, I've never not powder coated, so I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing as far as like being really specific about my alloys and my intended velocity and all that stuff. I just use range scrap and it works for 90% of the stuff, and if not, then I'm just like, oh well, I'll try a different bullet or something else. But for the most part, powder coating and range scrap, you're pretty much good up to like 1800 to 2000 or so FPS, I would say. Oh, I hear the old doggo barking. Everglades, yeah, I've heard of that. There it is. I'll have to check it out and see what they got laying around. And just like everybody, I pretty much wait for like free shipping or free hazmat and all that fun stuff, because everything is stupid overpriced. You know, you basically have to wait for those kind of deals to save anything. Because if you buy it locally, generally from what I've found, aside from one local shop I have, I'd have to go to like Bass Pro or Academy or something, and that stuff, them's expensive, brother. Them Bass Pro shops and K Bellas, they are they're proud of their powder. Cannot recommend Rocky Mountain more. They have others. They aren't made in-house. Some of the best bullets get free shipping in for. Okay. I haven't tried anything. Oh, our dirt. Yep. You just got to use the acronym because I'm slow. Yeah, I've actually never ordered from Rocky Mountain, but I've heard they're 69s, and I think they've got a 75 grain the guy was also working on. Those are supposed to be really nice, from what I've heard. from what I've heard, oh, there we go. And don't they have those hollow point rounds they call like nukes or something? Not rounds, but projectiles. They're nuke. There's like a 124 grain for 9 mil or something like that. Got one with a cantilure. There's a few in here. Slightly different cantilures and different tips, but they're all 110 grains, and I'm gonna load them all the same, dang it. I made sure to seat it past the cantilure so I'll never be able to tell. And then we're just doing a little factory cramp right over the top. Everglades are from Florida. That makes sense. That makes sense. Because of the Everglades, right? Yeah. I've heard of that in the books on the internet before. Hollow points aren't for show. Ooh. Old doggy's out there barking up a storm. She's old and angry. They worked very well and meant to be pushed. Yeah, I need to definitely load up some piss and hot hollow points here someday. Mr. Neil, how are we doing this week? I'm about to go have to check on old doggo out there. Had good luck with midway seconds. They're about half price and shoot great. Yes, I agree. Pretty much anywhere that has like seconds or blems or whatever, as long as it's the proper diameter and the tips aren't screwed up. Like I've seen ELDs that didn't have the tips, so it was just a hollow point. You know, as long as they're like correct diameter and weight, then as far as I can tell, blems and seconds and whatnot are good to go. But I will be back in like 30 seconds. I'm going to see what the dog is barking about. Right back. What are you doing, baby girl? Welcome back. Sorry about that. Old grumpy doggo barking at cars going by. Alright, pardon me. Sorry, I had to get a drink and wet the old whistle there. Probably a Bigfoot in the yard. Not a Bigfoot, but we do have this stray cat that I catch on the camera constantly, like every day. There's a freaking cat doing laps around the house. And then when I take the dogs out, they're like, hair stands up and they're ready to go chasing the trail. So that's always funny. But yeah, there's a cat outside. Sorry, I'm missing the chat here. Are we loading some 110 grain VMax? Yes, sir, we are. But you gotta go to the old twitch.tv/dummyround to get a good view. A good view in loose quotation marks there, but we do have the webcam up with the chat going and all that fun stuff, so hopefully that's working. Hopefully all that's working good like. But yeah, guys, if you're just now stopping in, make sure to hit the like button so everybody on YouTube can be like, what's that guy doing there? What are we looking at? Is that another coffee machine? And I say coffee machine. I had one stupid little short video. I was doing a 12 gauge shell on the load-all, and it got like 5 million views or something stupid. And half or like 90% of the comments were, LOL, I thought that was an espresso machine. So, good job, fellers. We tricked the algorithm. All we have to do is pretend like we're making coffee, apparently. So, just pretend like it's a fancy espresso machine, because the AI doesn't know what shot shells are, because it doesn't look like a bullet. How funny is that? Uh-oh. Primer arm. There we go. What is going on there? Got some powder or something under the old shell plate. I really need some compressed air. A little bit of compressed air, you know. Clean up my workspace a little bit. Yeah. Every once in a while there's like a little flake of brass that comes off from the priming operation, and those are getting caught up under me old shell plate there. But it's okay. We shall persevere. Spot check. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Perfect. Spot on. Most excellent. And we'll check the next one coming out of the gauge as well. There we go. Turn the freaking shell plate. Oh yeah. Plunking right in and right out. Okay. Telling you what now. Primer feels just a bit proud, so let's smash it in there a little better. There we go. Piece of cake. Done. Alright, yeah, so anyways, mixed brass, mostly Lake City, lots of Winchester, Aguila, Remington, Arms Core, about 7 different types of Winchester. You've got WCC, WMA, WIN, the Win NATO, the Win 556, and like 4 other variations of the same stuff. You've got some Federal here. Those all work pretty well. And if you guys are just starting out with the 300 blackout and you don't know what cases you can cut down, oh shit, that does not feel good. We're not going to force it. Nah. Good thing I stopped. That's aww. Aww. Oh, nuts. Aww. Oh, nuts, guys. Oh, nuts, man. He's smiling. Yeah, good thing I said that felt weird and stopped pressing with all of my force. So let's go ahead and dump this powder out. And we'll set that case aside so I can fetch the primer later. We'll just leave him there smiling so everybody can see it. That was a good one there. Alright, replace that. Make sure we don't have... Okay. Good deal. And back on up to finish that stroke without smashing the case. Yeah, that was fun. I never said I was a professional, but Yeah. You just got to know when you can and can't push. Oh, old doggy's angry at cars again. Past her bedtime. And all these jack wagons go flying by up this hill. Boom! Cut off their exhaust or something on purpose. And then they like forget to shift or something, so they're just redlining it. So that's pretty cool. There we go, okay. 95 grain VMax in the Grendel at 2700. That sounds excellent, sir. Now you see, I wanted to really enjoy the 350 Legend in my AR-15. And now I wanted to do that with cast projectiles, and I pretty much haven't had a whole lot of luck for lots of reasons, mainly because the case was not designed for that at all. But anyways, I have that whole entire complete upper. I want to pull that barrel off and potentially do a 6.5 Grendel. So that sounds like fun, right? And so I was wondering, do we go 16, 18, 20 inches, 24 inches, 37.5 inches? That way they know you're just trying to compensate for something. But 95 grain going 2700 from a little tiny Grendel case, that's pretty respectable there, I do believe. I think the 123s top out at like 2500 maybe, if you have a nice long barrel. But again, I'm no Grendel aficionado. But I bought a bag of Grendel brass long ago. Whoopsie. Oh! And I still have it, so I could either use it for 6.5 Grendel or turn it into 6 arc, or you know, whatever. I kind of just want a bolt gun though in 6 arc. To me that sounds kind of fun. I don't know why. I was really getting into 243 Winchester, but it looks like the 6 arc comes pretty close to it. It's actually pretty crazy. And you're in a short action. You got your little bitty AR or your tiny little bolt gun. And in your bolt gun, you can run it up to 62,000 PSI, where I believe the AR bolt maxes out at 50 or 52,000 PSI. Due to the enlarged bolt face. So that would be fun. To have a 6 arc with potentially like a 24-inch barrel, that could be fun. And then shooting some like 87 grain VMax, or like go up to 105 or 109s or whatever people are shooting. And I wouldn't have to worry about being constricted by the AR-15 magazine length, because I'd be in a bolt gun, and I would either just be hunting, which I don't really do that often, or ever, or just, you know, screwing around shooting targets where I wouldn't need a magazine and I could single feed and all that fun stuff. So I'm torn between Grendel and arc and what barrel length and all that stuff. Went with the 18-inch heavy, fluted, kind of heavy but very accurate. Have you like shot, you know, 10 rounds pretty consecutively, or heated up the barrel pretty good and then kept shooting groups? Or does it heat up and you kind of take your time? Or how does that barrel handle that? Some barrels apparently start to just go all kinds of crazy. but I usually shoot pretty fast when I'm testing, so I don't know if that really affects a whole lot, but I don't know. Uh-oh, that one feels weird. There we go. Little piece of walnut, tumbling media. We'll have to get that out of there. Beep, 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 beep. I need a little can of dust or compressed air or whatever. There we go. A PSD. Oh, who was talking about this last week? Or in the comments, they like PMC, but not PSD. This is a PSD. I'm wondering if the case is too thick where our new neck is created. We're going to test it and find out. We're going to find out, I tell you what. Okay, PSD is getting primed right now. Just got to keep track of it. Otherwise, I'll have, memory of a goldfish and the attention span of a squirrel. Forget where our piece of brass is. Don't want that one for sure. IVI, you do not want those. IMI are fine. IVI do not work for blackout. So I'm glad I just caught that one. Glad I just caught that one. Okay, very nice. PSD just got powder. Now getting a bullet. And our little bin, acro bin ammo catcher here is about filled up real nice. Okay, one more for the PSD. We'll see if it plunks in the old chamber there. Chamber gauge. Headspace case length gauge thingy from Lyman that I really enjoy. Alright. PSD. Who was saying that? Who was saying that? Oh, we plunked just fine. Look at that. Barrel heat is minimal. Can shoot all day without the group changing. That's freaking awesome. That's what I want to hear. Isn't it just a Bear Creek, by the way? I know there's a lot of hate for Bear Creek. But I also hear probably 4 to 1 good to bad. You know what I'm saying? 4 good stories to 1 bad. And generally the customer service is A+ in either way, So if their stuff screws up and blows your hand off, they'll at least replace the part of the gun that blew up under the warranty. I don't know about your hand, but I don't know about your hand, but they might replace your gun. Or your upper. There we go. Now I wouldn't call this 550 here. I won't say it's not progressive, but I have to manually index it. I have to feed my brass and my projectiles. So in my mind, it's just a huge complex turret press. And instead of rotating your dies, I'm just rotating the shell plate underneath the turret. Wow. Almost smashed that one. We'll just help and guide him up there. There we go. So yeah, just built a new 7.5 inch little blackout. He sure is fun. I got a cool little tiny short muzzle brake on it to make it as short as possible. Oh man, that one was loose. I bet I can push it out here with the tool. Watch this. Pop. Wow, that one was loose. Let's throw him in the trash. Alright, then we can just put this primer right back on the press. Woo! And people say you can't feel, you know, well, we gotta skip that one because that one's already got powder and we have to rotate. So we'll have one empty station, no big deal. There we go. Because if I ran that one back up to expand it, I would have double charged the powder on that one. Yeah, so we had to just skip that stage, which is no big deal. It's BCA, it'll do 1/2-inch groups if you do your part with matched bullets. 0.6 with honey bullets. That's freaking awesome. There's just something about the case design, the PPC case, the parent case for the Grendel and the Arc and the 6 PPC and all those. The 220 Russian. Yeah. There's something about that case geometry, apparently, that just leads to being inherently accurate. So I need to get on that, get on board with that and shoot some 6mm bullets or some 65mm bullets. Oh, 6.5, sorry. 6.5. Well, I guess I was hiding the, go there. Couldn't read what it said because of my stupid case. But we do have 5 people on Twitch. That's pretty awesome. Welcome aboard, guys. Thanks for hopping over. Make sure to follow on Twitch because I'll probably be doing some range days, hopefully someday. Maybe Sunday. Maybe this Sunday I'll do a live stream out on the range in the back there with my new 300 Blackout pistol. So that sounds like fun. If you guys want to be in on that, you can make fun of me when I miss the targets and everything. And I can stream a firearm without getting banned like we would on the YouTube. So Twitch is where all the cool stuff can happen. And then I'll have to either like chop that down later into different video segments or whatever and import it to YouTube. But still learning the Twitch thing. Still new to Twitch. I kind of watched on and off, you know, as a nerdy kid growing up. But haven't streamed a whole lot in general, but less so on Twitch than even on YouTube. So looks like we got maybe 25 primers left here out of that tube at least. There we go. So you 300 Blackout folks out there, do you shoot subs or supers? I mainly shoot supers, and I say mainly by that I mean 99.9% of the time I shoot supers because I don't have a can. But I can cast for it, which greatly reduces the cost of the projectiles. So it's my main plinking ammo from an AR platform, but also it's pretty good within, you know, 200 yards or so with the supersonic loads. And there's nothing inside my home that's anywhere near the, you know, 200 yard range that I'm capped at, right? Neil's got mostly subs. You said you had some cans, didn't you? You were quite the collector, if I remember. I'm jelly. We had that conversation. I remember now. And every time I talk about cans, it's like, man, I could have had 7 of them by now if I'd have just started the first process. But I don't want to pay the extortion tax, right? Do you shoot a lot of 147, 150 grain supers? Yep, that's basically what I do. But I cast them and they're like 155 to 160-ish. I think my last batch was like 158 with the wheel weight alloys. Oh, that case is short, it didn't get expanded, so I gotta make sure that bullet sits right flat on there. Oh yeah. Another reason I quite enjoy the Hornady seating die, it's got that sleeve that the bullet can ride up in before it hits the stem and gets pushed into the case. 12 and counting. You don't want to like put me on your trust, do you? And then I can just like shoot your cans constantly, and that'd be cool, right? Yeah, you know? No, just kid, just kid. That seems like a mess. Have you ever been harassed at a range or anything? Like, hey, do you have a license for that thing? Or like, did some dummy ask about your cans? Crash shoot supers, 150 FMJs or 110 VMaxes in Enforcer. Ah, it was you, sir, talking about the PSD versus PMC ammo. But I just had a piece of PSD come out and it passed the gauge. So, I don't know. Only time I've been asked about your can is to shoot the gun. As long as you're not idiots, you oblige. That's sweet. Yeah, that's what I found most of the time. Like, I don't have any cans, but I have a bunch of friends that do. And I've seen several at different ranges I frequent or have frequented. And, you know, you see the same people there over and over. Eventually you strike up a conversation and it's like, hey man, nice cans. And he's like, yeah, you wanna try it? And then you go and try it. Then you go out and try the cans and you're like, man, that's really fun and comfortable to shoot, and it directs all the blast and concussion away from us, and now it's hearing safe, and now it would be good for so many different things, but our the powers that be don't know what they're doing. As proven time and time again, just in this past week. Okay, don't go full tinfoil, dummy. We were talking about primers and charges. That is correct. Yeah, Enforcer seems to work up pressure pretty quick. It was these primers I was using, those Remingtons, and it seemed like, yeah, they started flattening at what was the second or third charge I was trying. Only have had a range ask for your tax stamp if you visit. How many of short rail rifles? Yeah, it seems like for the most part people don't really get, you know, it's a non-issue and most people just are like, oh wow, that's cool. But I've heard horror stories of like an RSO or someone like, you gotta bring in your papers and bah. Even though I'm not a lawyer, but don't take this for, you know, the truth. But apparently, if they're not ATF, you don't have to show them anything, and you can tell them to go pound sand. So, you know. Unless it's, yeah, ATF, you shouldn't have to present your documents. Yeah. It seems like that would be a pain to, like, have to carry around with you. constantly. We're using the Gen X small rifle to start. They flattened halfway up the ladder. Had to back out near the top. Went to small rifle Magnum and been pretty much fine. Yeah, next time I do Enforcer, I'm going to try the CCI 450s. The CCI 450s are a Magnum. I don't know if that means harder or hotter. I was never able to tell that distinction, but I guess it probably depends between brands. Exactly, if they're not ATF, they can piss off. PDF you get a form of, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You don't have to physically carry your paperwork with you. That would, way to go, dummy. Tell me you don't know anything about the process without telling me you don't know anything about the process. Am I right? Magnum is really just a harder cup. Yeah, see, I've heard like bench rest are harder or something, so you can get to higher pressures, but Magnums are better at lighting off like a compressed ball powder because there's such little, surface area between them since they're so compressed. It's harder to ignite than a stick. So on and so forth. I don't know, man. And then to say like you go from small pistol to small pistol Magnum, is it just harder for like a 357 Magnum, Higher pressure, you go from like 18K to 35K? I don't know. Oh, what's up, Neil? Made it over to Twitch? Heck yeah. It's gonna be hard keeping up with names, so if I sound like I'm having 4 different conversations because I'm talking to the same person with a different screen name, my bad. My bad. Alright, I think I'm gonna just set this here so the fine folks on the tubes can stare at it. There's cute little, that one's got a black tip, and that one's got a little red tip. Yeah, they're so nice and cute. They're so nice. Oh, and then you gotta put the next tray up there to catch the rounds, you guy. Suppose it varies by brand, alloys and such. I'm just going to assume every single primer is 100% different, regardless of internet rumors or whatever. Apparently a CCI 550 small pistol Magnum, people say is the exact same thing as the CCI 400, a standard small rifle. I haven't tested this, but apparently people use them interchangeably, or like some people only buy CCI 400s and they'll use it for 9mm, 38 special, 357 Magnum, and as well for all their AR loading stuff. Yeah, full on NATO loads up to 60,000 PSI with the standard CCI 400. That would just make it easy to stockpile one component, right? But then you have to make sure all your pistols could reliably ignite them. Other than that, though, as long as your little striker-fired handguns could ignite them, that would probably be a good strategy. As long as you work up loads for each one, I don't see why it would be an issue. Unless it was a little more erratic or hotter, going pop, in like a 9mm with 3 grains of tight group. Would a rifle primer be too hot? Or something like that? I guess if you start low and work up like you're supposed to, you would figure that out sooner than later, I'm sure. Looks like we're gonna have to refill the primers here soon. There we go. Alright. So if you guys could pick any primer, and you could just stockpile that one primer for $30 a thousand, what primer would you choose? Or I guess, give me one of each variety. Small pistol magnum, so on and so forth. And are large rifle just as hard as small rifle, or small pistol, large pistol? Are those the same thickness, hardness? Large is just better at igniting more powder, maybe? Obviously it's larger. It's filling up a larger case, like a 45 Colt compared to like a 380 ACP or something. Whoa, golly. Like I said, you gotta fill up the primers. Oh God, it's crooked. Oh God, don't fall out. Oh, that one might be upside down. Well, this is going horribly. What happened? Oh God. Well, this one's upside down, sitting right on the top. If you're on Twitch, you can see this primer sitting right at the top here, and it's going to fall in upside down. Oh boy, let me set this down so I don't spill those everywhere. Oh buddy. Pick this one up, it just fell. Put him in the tray. I don't know where this primer rod came from, but it actually says Winchester large rifle on it, so that could be an issue. Oh God. Oh God. I saved it. Victory. Now let's figure out what the hell's going on there. That one's upside down too. What the heck? Yeah. Well, this tube's the wrong freaking tube or something. I never said I was a professional, folks. My name is literally Dummy for a reason. I came here asking for help. Okay, let's try this one. Oh, it was so sweet and smooth. I guess I'll have to move this feller out the way here, and that's weird. I wonder why the tube is set up for larges, but it's got this small little pickup head on it. Whoopsie! What a dummy. What a freaking dummy. Small rifle magnum, I like Merman. Russian primer, 6 cents a piece right now. That's pretty good. Small pistol magnum. Any small rifle works fine. Small pistol, anything cheap. That's pretty much where I'm at. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went ahead and splurged on some of the MagTech primers you guys have been seeing floating around. So I grabbed enough to cover the next couple of years. Okay, still need to replace this tube here for the primers. Boop. And pay attention and make sure that the next like 5 or so aren't going to be upside down, because that would be silly. CCI standard for the most part. Yep, I'm a fan of CCI. I'm a fan of Remington's. I just really hate the federal packaging. Honestly, the Gen X weren't too horrible, but they've been really hard to seat. So I guess if you had some blown out brass on its like 5th firing or something, that might be useful. But every Gen X primer I've ever fired always went bang, so that's good. So if you can get it seated, it'll at least go off. and those were pretty cheap. I think you can get those around, you know, the 6 or 7 mark, 6 or 7 cent mark, if you need to buy 5,000 of them at a time. Which is a lot to bite off at one time, because, you know, 5,000 primers used to cost $130. And now, if you can find a case for $350 to $400, you know, that's like, quote, a decent price these days, you know. That's pretty scary, right? Although 4 years ago, we'd be talking a different story. Actually, I think this is right. Exactly 4 years ago in October, I remember having to sit up at like midnight on the weekends and wait for Bass Pro Shop to upload their in-stock primer notification. And then they were only like 30 or 40 bucks at the time, so I would just get them sent to in-store pickup, which was free hazmat. And then you just go to your local Bass Pro and you could pick them up there. So that's how I was snagging primers in 2020. Literally sitting on the website and hitting F5 between like midnight and 3 a.m. So that was a guarantee for a good 6 months. You could do that pretty reliably. And then the shortages started actually kicking in. And then they put limits on your order per quantity, and then they jacked up the prices, and then they would release them in like 100 pack. Oh, damn it, that was the upside down one. Pooh. Where is my favorite tool that I don't know where I put it because I've moved into this room? Damn it! Yeah, so this is how you don't seat primers. Found it. Alright, well, I smashed that one, and I've got to get the primer out of that. And that one's upside down, so I got to get the primer out of him. And then I spilled all those because they were in the wrong tube. We're just on a roll here, folks. So I got a bullet there, I have powder there, screwed up the primer. Rotate. There we go. Back on track here. Just like nothing ever happened. Remember, don't try this at home. I'm what you don't call a professional. Anything that I do, you might be a fool if you do exactly as I do. Now here's a PSD, Mr. Crash. I think the last one I did worked just fine, but I don't know if you were talking about them just being consistent or different than the PMC cases. Would you care to elaborate on the PMC versus PSD? If you don't mind, sir. There we go. Ooh, there's more bullets down there. You just gotta make room. Here we go. Too bad you can't like have some music playing, or else the copyright monsters will get you. Careful with the PSD. The wall thickness is a bit thicker. A bit thicker. And if the chamber is tight, you'll definitely flatten or back out a primer. So, funny story. I knew what you were trying to say. It was a bit thicker, sir. Yes, indeed. Yeah, funny story. I just put on this 7.5-inch barrel, and I was like, yeah, let me just run some of these 3 10.5 cast loads through it because it works on all my other guns. And I like stuck the 4th round through it and had to get a cleaning rod and ram the projectile and broken case out of the chamber. So now I know I have to size these cast bullets back down to 309 where I previously had them. So not a big deal. I'll just have to keep some set aside for the Mosin food. Keep some of those at 310 or 311 or whatever. I think it's 310.5 out of a 311 die. I can open it up more if I need to, but since I haven't actually slugged my Mosin, I'm just going to see how they shoot as the die sizes them, and if I need to open it up, I can do that too. But it shot some, I have it right here actually. Aha! S&B 180 grain soft points. I was just shooting offhand at 50 yards through the iron sights, but you know, they seem to fly true and straight, and they hit the little targets in front of me, you know. Yeah, the 300 blackout for them, that is the best list in the world. Ooh, as far as what you can convert. I think that's what I did is one day I printed off that list of all the good ones, and then I highlighted like the ones I knew I had the most of, and then I just sorted through like 5 gallons of brass. And aside from the IVI sneaking in, as I was mistaking them for IMI, pretty much everything I've made other than the IVIs, they have all worked. But then of course if you throw in a super fat cast bullet, that changes everything as well. So if you have a thick brass head stamp and then you throw in an oversized projectile like I did in my new upper I just changed the barrel in, yeah, it'll stick in your chamber. So that was fun. Threw out PSD and Wolf due to thickness. Some of it was 17 thousandths. Yeah, isn't like 13 what you want? 12 or 13 or 14 or something like that? And then it gets kind of questionable. Because you got, what, 308, and then if you add 12 on each side, 24 more, that's 332. I think the dimension, let's consult our manual. Does this have the neck thickness here? 334 is the outside diameter. So yeah, 14 thousandths would be the maximum with a 308 bullet. So if you have a 309 cast, then you can't be bigger than 13.5. And then if you go to 310, you have to have the thinnest 12 thousandth necks. Ha! Math. I love when it makes sense and clicks and you're like, oh wow. I'm not so dumb after all, guys. I figured it out. I should have looked at whatever that head stamp was, though. That got ripped off in the chamber. I have it, actually, I dumped it into the bucket of spent brass. So somewhere in there, whoops, is a live primer. The powder ripped out, or the bullet stuck in the chamber. The case came out. The powder went everywhere inside my trigger group. So that was pretty awesome breaking in the new upper. 4 shots in and woo! Good job, dummy. But then I just went to my FMJ loads that I know cycle all my other guns. And it got worse and worse and worse until it wasn't cycling or even ejecting at all, except from like the littlest bit of pressure that would barely move the bolt out of battery, essentially. I was gonna screw around with the gas block. I was gonna, let's contemplate opening the gas port. Let's change our buffer. Let's change our spring. I was thinking about doing all this crap. And it turns out the freaking bolt key, or the gas key on the bolt carrier group, was hanging on by like 2 threads. So that was obviously why we weren't getting function. So we got that stuck back on and properly staked. Oh yeah. Properly staked, and it cycled and functioned flawlessly, and we had a perfect like 4 o'clock ejection pattern, so that was pretty sweet. Tested like 2 or 3 rounds, and then I just mag dumped it like a dude, bro, and it locked open, and I called it good. So that was my function testing and barrel break-in for my new 300 Blackout 7.5 inch pistol. Ooh, I also have a new red dot on the way. Don't worry, it's nothing exciting. It's just the cheap SIG Romeo 5. Got it from the PSA on sale. I think it was 119 bucks. So I'm gonna slap that on the little 7.5 incher, and I'll have me a nice truck, a nice little truck rig, I'll tell you what. Alrighty, Mr. Neil, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you, and we'll probably see you next time. So have a good one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Phew. Just refilled these primers, but it looks like I might run out of brass first. Good thing I literally have a bucket of brass sitting in front of the press there. But I do have to get up early and do a bunch of yard work, so who knows how long we'll keep this going. Probably a little while longer. I'm having fun, having a good old time. Love a good old 300 AR pistol. Excellent package. Yes, sir. The Otter Creek Polo 30 suppressor is the perfect PDW. Sir, that sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I could show you on the YouTubes. I can show you on Twitch. It's actually sitting right here on the floor. It's got a cute little micro muzzle device blaster diverter thingy. So during my initial Dude Bro Mag Dump break-in, the muzzle rise was quite reduced. It was mighty smooth and fine. And it wasn't actually as loud as I was thinking for it being a 7.5 inch blaster. But like I said earlier, the older I get, I just like them shorter and shorter. But don't get me wrong, I do love me some 20 inch AR. But there's just something fun about a little pistol. Just something about it. I've got the Magpul flip up, M-bus sights or whatever right now, which they seem pretty nice, except I don't like when you have them collapsed, and I have the aperture flipped up to be the wider peep sight. That little tiny tab is now the tallest part of the build, so that little tab would get caught on stuff. And it's just not as quick if you have to pull up and get a quick, sight picture. It's harder to look through that little tiny peep hole than it is when the aperture is in the other position. If that made any sense whatsoever. But good thing we're going to get the red dot on there and I won't even have to worry about it, right? Right. And it turns out the SBA3 is about maybe 3/4, at least a ½ inch shorter than the SBA4 when fully collapsed. So that's really good to know as well. However, the SBA3 quick detach sling mounting position is, in my opinion, in a somewhat worse position than the SBA4. But nonetheless, I am quite the fan of a good healthy pistol brace. We threw a 2-point sling on there, like I was just saying. Got it mounted on the brace, and then I got a QD M-lock adapter for the sling swivel. Well, the QD thingy-do. Words are hard. So this is my first YouTube stream from the phone in vertical mode. Does it, how did it show up to you guys? Were you just going down your feed and it showed up as a short? Or did it say like, Dummy Run is live, and it was like a widescreen, full size? How did that look? I'm curious. Because from what I thought I heard was that if you stream vertically, it shows up when people are thumbing through the shorts. Versus, you know, if it was on like the just your page feed when it says someone's live. I don't know. Either way, it seems pretty cool. Audio is clear, video is fine. Subbed and got a notification. Heck yeah, brother. Well, that's good to know. That's good. That's good that it's working. I like when stuff works. You know, you push the button and it works. Did you get 2 notifications though? Because I went live once and I was on unlisted, so it was never going to show up to anybody unless I share the link. So I had to end that and go to public mode. Because I'm new here and I don't know what I'm doing. So that's pretty cool. Got the normal notification. Good deal, good deal. Might have you were busy loading. Oh no, it's hard to tell. Well, either way, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Sure is more fun than talking to my press. It'd be sweet if I could somehow, like if I was live at the range or whatever, get some kind of like mic hooked up, so if I was further than like 5 feet from the phone, running around like an idiot shooting stuff, you could hear me and I could talk. But then I guess I wouldn't be able to read the chat unless I was within like 5 feet from the phone, so maybe that wouldn't be very useful. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still new here, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a dummy hanging out. And we're just loading up some nice blasting ammo here. I'll try and shoot a few more with the bolt gun, see if it liked that same load. These are pulled projectiles though, so it could potentially affect their accuracy. But otherwise, they're not seconds, so they should be within spec. Certainly no complaints on my behalf at this point. Except, like I said, Some of these have different cantilever spots, different thicknesses, and then most of them are just plain, no cantilever. But again, I'm seating it past that, so you can't even tell. So, whatever. I'll never be able to tell which one is and is not cantilevered. However, there were maybe like 10 of the little black tips in there. And you can sort of see the pull mark there on the red one. But other than that, these are basically brand new VMaxes that were approximately 14 or 15 cents a piece. But like I said earlier, if I bought that premium package and I wanted to shoot like, 175, 168 plus stuff in like 308 or 300 Win Mag or something, I would be kind of upset that I got a whole bunch of 110 grain bullets. Well, now that I learned about the Lee Load-All, never leave the range. Yeah, the world's cheapest reloading setup for one. Man, a lot of people talk badly about the Lee Load-All, but I've loaded some mighty fine ammunition on my $60 piece of plastic, and I can't complain about it one bit. No complaints on my behalf on the Lee Load-All. Although, you gotta lube her up real good or it'll squeak like a mofo. So there is that, but once you get the spring all lubied up and work in a bit, you're good to go. Mr. Steely762 made it here. Welcome aboard, sir. First time chat, it says. How are you this evening? Did you follow it over from the YouTubes? Did it work? I might have like 12 followers by the time we're done with this. I certainly appreciate you guys making it over to Twitch, though. Because as we all know, YouTube is not fond of freedom. They're very much anti-freedom, it seems. More cases than not. Especially in the past few months. They cracked down hard on the 2A community. The guidelines have completely changed, and they're pretty much a bunch of freedom haters, and that's all I have to say about that. A bunch of freedom haters. However, we can sit here and chat all day and you can stare at my scale, or if you can read my handwriting, you can get the other view from there at Twitch TV/Demoround. Well, that one's another short one that didn't get expanded, so I gotta make sure he's real straight going up in there. Perfect. Perfect. I will say, getting the 110 grain VMaxes though in the premium package that is spec'd at 175 grains, so they say you get 500 projectiles at 175 grains. Whatever that total weight is what the box adds up to. So if I get a whole bunch of 110s, I obviously am going to get more than 500. So really, in my specific case, again, I cannot complain about that specific box of bullets. There were a couple of barns, their 110 grain TAC TX. I've got, actually, if those are 35 or 40 cents a piece, I think I got over 100 of those. So that paid for over half of that package on its own. That's pretty sweet. I'll have to work up a nice load with those and set those aside. And they might be pulled, but a lot of these still look brand new and like untouched. The biggest thing might be a little tarnish if they've been sitting for a while, but otherwise, pretty much like a, you know, a B grade. A B grade, you know, like a 89%, I would say, for quality. No, I haven't like shot any of them yet, but I weighed a whole bunch of them and measured their diameters, and so those were all within the normal tolerances of what you should expect. Well, give me the primer. There we go. I think my Dylan needs a little TLC. I'm gonna have to strip it all down. Probably ready for some grease. Get the ram all lubed up real good. Clean all these surfaces. Apparently, my primer system has been giving me a little bit of fuss in here lately. What velocity are we getting with the VMax loads? That one fell loose. Let's see how gross this one is. Nope, he's in there pretty good. No, he's not. He started slipping out. What velocity are we getting? I actually haven't ran them over the chrono. But most of the data is suggesting 2400 out of a 16-inch barrel, and I used a bolt action for that testing, so I want to say at least 2300. 2300, I would say, and then you go to the 10.5 inch, and we're probably down to, well, I don't know, but it will make for some good testing to try out the different barrel lengths. And I bet the 16-inch bolt action will give us a different velocity than the 16-inch AR. Anybody have experience with that? I don't know why I'm making that prediction, but I'm just assuming like it might have a slightly tighter chamber, or like the bolt might hold it more stably or something, so it might give a slightly higher pressure or velocity or something than an equal barrel length AR-15 platform. I don't know. What have you guys noticed between AR barrels and bolt actions of the same caliber and length? I feel like my 308 bolt action gives me the same velocities as the M1A does. I need to shoot that thing some more. It's been a while. I need to have a good old 308 day. You know, I'm just playing around with these puny little 300 blackouts, but what I really need is a 308 Winchester day on the range. You know, not enough to beat you up like the 450 Bushmaster, but enough to let you know that you're actually shooting some loads, you know? It's basically a waste though in my backyard, because most of it is like 50 yards and in, but I can back up to 100 if I really want. So, you know, pretty much a waste of a 308 Winchester for most of my ranges at my house at least. I do want to take it back out to 300 yards at the range I pay for that I haven't been into in about a year. But that'll be for a different day. I am going to be working up, I said, the 75 grain 223 load. I want to shoot that at 300 yards and see how those do. And eventually maybe take that upward to Fort Campbell and shoot those out to like 820 or 830 yards or somewhere in there. So that would certainly be fun. I'm not sure if I have, if my glass is capable of shooting that far. I don't really have I've got a bunch of mid-grade stuff, you know what I'm saying? I don't have anything really super bright and shiny and really magnified, you know? I've got a Diamondback 4-16 from Vortex, and it actually does really well. But it's not actually you know, it's not like the PSTs or Vipers or anything like that. But it is first focal plane, and it's pretty nice. I will not lie, for a sub $500 scope. The Vortex Diamondback Tactical, pretty good in my opinion. Your sun is stationed there. Well, that's pretty awesome. Ooh. Tell him some idiot off the internet, you know, lives down the road. Have you ever been out there, James, shooting at the Fort Campbell range? I forget what they call it. It has a number associated with it. Oh, I only have one piece of brass. But I feel like I'm going to go until I'm out of primers at least here. So we got a couple more primers. That's plenty. Alright. So what are you going to work on now that you've finished that Grendel cast load, James? What's the next load workup project? Well, we got a nice ejector swipe on him. I like how this has a nice case fill for this load, so I can visually inspect it without picking up the cases. Although I'm still feeling the primer there. I can visually see that case is really full of powder. Been there a couple times, but never shot. It's not bad. They have they got like some cement bays, so you can play around and do cool dude stuff without worrying about getting shot from the people in the bay next to you. So you can set up all kinds of stuff and do cool drills. Then they have a pistol area with electronic pop-up targets. Or I guess you hit them and then they retract, they go down, and they pop up after a few seconds. And they've got like 10 of those in a row, and you can go back and forth and hit them all down the line and try to race the first one you hit before it resets. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure it wasn't cheap. But our good old tax dollars went to that, right? I can get on board with tax dollars going to that, I guess. Actually, no. All taxation is theft. Fuck that. Disregard what I said. No taxes are good. Not a single one. In fact, there were no federal income taxes until 1913 when the, what was it? The Federal Reserve, which is actually a privately owned company, took over, and we got rid of the gold standard, and now we've been indebted to a private company ran by the, for how long now? Sorry, I just had to pull out some of the tinfoil there. Worked up loads for all your rifles. Don't know what to load for now. Well, sir, you just need to load 10 times whatever you have on hand. That's the next project. Quantity. Quantity is the next project. I think I've got most of my bases covered. But you can never have too much. Especially when you actually like to shoot. And if you have a few friends over, you know, 1,000 rounds doesn't last a day. You can go through that in no time. That one felt loose and gross. Let's give her a test. You already did quantity. Well, sir, I guess you need to, you need a new caliber. A new cartridge. Have you started on the 6 ARC yet? Or I don't know. What's after the 6 ARC? There's a 6.5 Grendel and then a 6 ARC. And what else can we do out of that case? If they go 30 cal, it's just a 7.62 by 39. They could do 7mm. The 7mm ARC, wouldn't that be cute? Or what if it was like, I don't know, what's the diameter on that case? How big of a bullet could you fit in there? Like, could you say, you know, like 458 SOCOM? Oh yeah, 22 ARC. But could you blow that case out to like a 338 or a 30, like a 375 caliber, a 40 caliber, and have like, it'd be shaped like a 357 SIG or something, but with whatever bullet you ended up with? That would be kind of funny. Put like a 358 200 grainer in there or something. That would be pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, 22 ARC. I really hate how they put stuff out every year, except they don't, well, since the shortages, they haven't been able to keep up on production with Grendel, and then they make 6 ARC, they can't even produce that, and then they make 22 ARC, and they still haven't made the 6 ARC brass, and now they're saying we have 22 ARC, and they're crapping out some ammo for that, you know, sparsely. So they're just like flooding the market with things they can't fulfill. Seems weird, but I guess you gotta keep generating the hype, right? What's the, isn't a 30 caliber out of the 220 Swift case, isn't that just like a 30 BR or something? I don't know. That Parrot case has a lot of history that I'm not entirely familiar with. And then you've got the 6 GTs and the 6 Dashers and the 6 BRs and the 6 Norma BRs and the 6 Norma BRA. And that's just like the Aclead 6 BR and stuff like that. And yeah, interested in the ARC, but you have a Grendel, so there's such little variation in the ballistics until you're at like 900 yards or something. Something silly. I think the 6 ARC might have to take over there. Mr. Andy, Prairie Dog, welcome, sir. How are you? Good morning. Yeah, it's almost 2 here, actually. Wow. I gotta get up and run errands and do crap in the morning. Well, we're just loading. I'm almost out of primers here, so I guess this is... Yeah. We're nearing the end. We're not at the end. So welcome aboard, Mr. Andy. How are you doing? Good to see you. If you don't want to see this screen here, you can go to this website where you can see me streaming the rest of the setup, where freedom is allowed for now. Don't want to broadcast freedom too freely, or, you know, people might get the wrong impression about what it's like to be free. Sorry, I've been going pretty tinfoil hat here lately. It's kind of fun, really. But it kind of makes me angry. It makes me angry, and I don't like to be angry. But anyways, how many primers we have left here? They're sticking, not falling through. I really need to give this press here some TLC. I already said that, but she's due for a good rub down. But it's weird because you got to use like greasy lube on all this stuff, but then the priming system, you need like a dry graphite or silicone spray or something of that sort to get the little primey arm all nice and smooth. But we'll just have to break her down and clean her real good here one of these days. May pull out the M44 for something different. Yeah. What are you loading in that for the cast loads? Right now I've got the same 312155 that I use in the blackout. I was going to load some of those up. Not super hot or anything. Wow, that didn't feel good. He was not properly swaged. That's okay, we'll force him in there. Get it. Yeah. Piece of cake. Yeah, we'll just leave that little hangnail on there. It'll fire form out. Anyways, yeah, the Mosin. I've got some 155 cast stuff to load up. And I bought a box of the Spear 180 grain. What are they? Soft hot cores or something? Soft point hot cores or something like that. Uh-oh. Only a couple of primers left. We'll have to wrap her up for today, but like I said, I'll probably be streaming from the range on Sunday, I believe. And I'll probably do another stream tomorrow night, loading again, or just hanging out or whatever, but probably from the range on Sunday. So that could be kind of fun. You'll just have to make sure to catch it over on Twitch, because I'll only have the phone out there, so I'll only be on the Twitches. So if you only have YouTube notifications, you will not see it. I guess I could make a post or something and link to it so people can just click through. I don't know if that would work or not, but oh gosh. The wheels are falling off, folks. We got 5 left and it's all going to hell. Oh. Here we go. Perfect. Wow. All right. Yeah, probably not 100 bullets left, but enough that I'll have to get some more powder tomorrow. But I'll just have to refill the hopper there, is what I mean. You don't have a jacketed load? There you go. What size bore do you have, Mr. James? Let me pull them out here and see what I got. Hey, come in here. They are 311. Here we go. Yeah, these are what I'm gonna try. The hot cores. 311. Soft point round nose. So those are pretty sweet. They probably, actually, this is the only ammo I've shot out of it. I had like 10 rounds, or I shot 10 rounds, but these are a 180 grain round nose. So maybe I should chrono these last 10 rounds and just see if I can find a load to match that. And that might be a good starting point. As far as a jacketed load, you know, I'm not going to be trying to do full powered ass blasting stuff every time. Mostly just cast for fun, but it'd be nice to have a few hunting rounds perhaps. That could be cool. Alright, where were we here? Oh, sorry, if you were on the Twitches here, there's the bullet. That's pretty, right? Hot core. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Alright. Here we go. This could be the last primer here. Last primer. Okay, there's one. That might have been it, but I'll get one on standby just in case. There we go. Make sure that's down there. Make sure you can't go back any further. Alright. No primer. We'll ditch that piece of brass. And now I just have one more bullet to seat. Swoop. Oh, there we go. Boom. Well, there it is. Wow, that's actually oopsie. Not a bad little haul. Not a bad little session there. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Good deal, folks. Well, I believe that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Appreciate you guys hanging out. I'll probably be doing this again tomorrow. Probably trying the dual stream thing. It seems pretty cool. It's actually working on the computer, showing both of the chats. So that's nice and handy. But again, thanks for hanging out, folks. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Go follow over on Twitch. And we'll see you in the next live stream or video. Peace.